In Paris, the Big Four talks, 18 months in the making, collapsed after one preliminary hearing. Soviet Premier Khrushchev unleashed an attack on President Eisenhower, blasted the U.S. for aggression because of the U-2 spy plane shot down over Russia the week before. Khrushchev walked out of the talks and withdrew his invitation to Eisenhower to visit Russia. Most observers doubted the U-2 flight was the main reason for Khrushchev's action, suggested internal communist pressures and the West's firm stand on Cold War issues were more likely motives. But the U-2 incident scored a propaganda blow against the United States. The U.S. first gave a false account of the flight, then said such spy flights were necessary because of the Soviet fetish of secrecy. Khrushchev drained the incident of every ounce of propaganda value, displayed the wreckage in Moscow, and staged a dramatic public trial of the captured pilot in a huge ornate hall in Moscow. Francis Jerry Powers, 31-year-old Virginia flyer, became a propaganda tool in the Cold War. His wife and parents' attendance at his trial added to the drama. Powers pleaded guilty, was sentenced to 10 years confinement in Russia. The Russians called him an innocent pawn of aggressive United States policy and implied they would eventually shorten his sentence. World leaders gathered in New York to speak their minds at the International Forum. In addition, admission to the UN of 18 new members, all but one of them African, highlighted the session. To the rostrum stepped the heads of states both large and small. United States President Eisenhower, Prime Minister Macmillan of Britain, Premier Khrushchev, Russia, President Toure, Guinea, neutralist leader Premier Nehru of India, President Nasser of the United Arab Republic, Cuba's Castro. He spoke more than 4 hours during one speech. Prime Minister Diefenbaker of Canada, Ghana President Nkrumah, President Tito of Yugoslavia. The presence of so many heads of government posed a mammoth security problem. The 24,000-man New York City police force worked on 7-day-a-week, 24-hour call. Emotional anti-communist pickets and demonstrators posed a threat to the Iron Curtain leaders. At the Soviet legation, police were stationed on foot, on horseback, on motorcycles, and on rooftops to guard Khrushchev, who made frequent casual appearances on the balcony overlooking Park Avenue, seemingly unconcerned over any possible danger. The historic debate at the assembly session kept the atmosphere electric. One of the most tense moments came after an attack on Dag Hammarskjöld by Khrushchev. Hammarskjöld's reply brought resounding approval from the majority.
I shall remain in my post during the term of office as a servant of the organization in the interest
Khrushchev pounded his desk, the first of many times he did it during the sessions to show his disagreement. The address by Macmillan brought something else new. The interruption of a speaker from the floor for the first time in UN history.
I'd like it translated if you will send it.
Outside the UN, the world leaders took the opportunity to push their views in a constant round of little summit meetings. Khrushchev welcomed cordially the man he had just berated in the assembly. He talked with Nehru. Eisenhower and Nasser conferred. And African leader Nkrumah met with the U.S. president. Most of the world leaders returned to their home capitals after making their major policy speeches, but Khrushchev stayed on. He attended nearly every session for 25 days. He kept the world spotlight on himself as he made many speeches, showed many moods. He rattled his rockets in one breath, proclaimed his dedication to peace in the next. He challenged the usefulness of the United Nations itself. Hoped that the 15th General Assembly session would ease world tension faded. The meeting did not solve Cold War issues, but it focused new attention on them, emphasized how far apart East and West remained. The 15th General Assembly, where East, West, and a rising new force, the neutrals, had their say.